Now everyone, in this lesson, I would want to go and replace this owl image with a sign in and sign up button. So let's try to go and work on creating a sign in sign up button for this session. Now let's go to our code editor here, and we know that the header element is the one that contains the div class that has the logo box. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go and comment this out and then create a new div that I will name header sign in. Sign in. Now I would want to go and create a UL here with a class name header sign in UL. And inside of that, I want to have an li times 2 with a class name header sign in li. Oops, it didn't work like the way I wanted it to work. So let's just go and copy it. And inside of this, I would want to have an a element. I also want to go and give this a class name. And let's go type here and use header sign in a1. And inside of the other a element here, I also want to have a class name of header sign in modifier 2, or a second version. Let me just go and place here some dead links, and here I'm going to write here sign in and sign up. Let me just use a small letter here. Now that we are done with the markup here, let's go and close this and then go up in our CSS styles here. Let me just go look for the header nav. Okay, so we do have the header nav here, the header logo box. So let me just go and comment this out up to here. And remove this. Now let me just go and put here sign up buttons. Sign up and sign in buttons. Let me go put some comment here just so that we'll not be confused. Some lines here. Now let's just go and refresh our project here. So we can now see that the logo owl is now gone, or the image is now gone. Now let's go and play around with our CSS here. Header sign in. Let's go and try to float this to the right. Let's save that and let's see how that will look on our browser. And there we go. We have our sign in, sign up here. Now let's try to go and apply some styling in our sign in, sign up buttons here. Let me just go select the UL first. So if you remember, we have header sign in modifier UL, and I want to give it a margin of 30 pixels, 45 pixels, 0, and 10 pixels. Now just for us to be able to see the current position of our two elements here, I'm going to give this red, and this one I'm going to give it green background color. Now let's try to go and refresh our browser. And there we go. We can now see that this is the div element and this is the UL element. Now let's go and try to apply some changes in our header sign in li. So let's go and put some header styling for our header sign in li. And I don't want any list style type. So these are things that we have already tackled before, so I won't be explaining it anymore in detail. I'm going to give it a inline block, text align center, and a padding to the left of 0 and padding to the right of 20 pixels. Let's see how that will look on our browser. Okay, still not looking good. So let's go back to our code editor here. Let's now go and target the anchor element. So you would see that we created nesting of elements and we have a specific naming for them. So we have the block, the header, we have the element, and then the modifier here. So let me give this a border of 2 pixels, solid, white. I also want to give it a border radius of 8 pixels, text decoration, none, and color, white, background color, RGB 1684211. Let's save that. Now let's try to go and check on our browser how it looks now. And there we go. We can see that there's a little bit of similarities now with our navigation here. Now let's go back to our code editor and let's add some additional properties here. So let's go and give it a padding top of 2 pixels, padding bottom of 2 pixels, padding left of 20 pixels, padding right of 23 pixels. And let's go and text align it to the center. Let's save that. Now let's try to go first, check our browser here and refresh. And there we go. We now have some space inside of our element here. Let's just go back to our code editor here and let me just also go and apply some back shadow property of 0, 0, 10 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.6, opacity here. Now let's go back to our browser and then refresh this. And there you go. We can see that we now have a little bit of back shadow behind our element. Now let's try to go and apply the same code here for our other button. Header, sign in, A2 for the anchor element 2. Let me just go and copy this. Let's see what will happen and how it will look on our browser. Now let's go and try to refresh our browser here. And there you go. We now have our sign in, sign up buttons here. And now let's try to go and remove the background color. So this will be useful, especially if you would want to be familiar with what element is on top of one another. That's why we can go and try to use background color for us to be able to identify the elements that we are playing around with. Now let's go back to our browser here. Now let's go and try to refresh this. And now we have our sign in and sign up button. Now we can go and create a sign in form and a sign up form. So that will be all for this lesson, and I hope you learned and everything is clear with regards to the properties that we use, and you will see we are practicing using the properties that we have so far learned in the previous lessons. So thank you and see you on our next lesson.